questionnaire for our period where you can answer just simply yes and no questions. And on that survey, it is also anonymous because it may ask questions that, you don't want to answer because it could implicate things. So it is anonymous. So we just want to understand what the community is doing and what they would like to see. Travel trailers and recreational vehicles. I like having Chris here. This evening, I am also here to discuss the use of trailers and recreational vehicles on vacant lands. There has been discussion around this topic for several years, and Council wishes to address it. Municipalities have restrictions on the use of trailers and recreational vehicles on vacant land all around us. It's not just particular to Bonfield. You can see some newspaper clippings here that French River, Sudbury, Whitestone have all had conversations about their residents concerning trailers and RVs being used on vacant lands. The definition of a recreational vehicle means any vehicle so constructed that it is used for temporary eating and sleeping accommodation for travel, vacation, and recreational use. The key words in the definition was temporary use. Several types of trailers and recreational vehicles fall under this category. The current regulation to use an RV at your dwelling or cottage is permitted. However, no recreational vehicle shall be used on any residential or any rural zone on vacant land, period. The only permitted way to currently use a trailer is on a property that has a residence or a cottage. Should the township continue I think I could yell it out, no? Should the township continue to enforce the current bylaw or provide a license for the purpose of seasonal use on a vacant land? A trailer or recreational vehicle has never been permitted for the purpose of. Even subdivision agreements from the early 1980s in the township of Bonfield provided that a trailer was not to be on a property within a subdivision. Once again, back to our community survey, 140 people survey said the survey results who answered indicated that trailers should be permitted on vacant land, that a license be used to regulate trailers and RVs, and that trailers should not be permitted on water property. However, it was also said that they should not be permitted on rural property either. So we're trying to think that the people that didn't want a trailer on vacant land answered those questions equally. The survey may have been answered in both places as per the use of trailers on vacant land. What else have we been hearing? Through the process of the official plan consultation, comments and community surveys, and delegations to council, and as you know, I've been to lots of those delegations regarding trailers and vacant land. We're here to see what we can do about that and put an end to this conversation. The other comments that we've been hearing are on the screen. And how do we permit trailers and ensure that the environment is protected? Travel trailers do not fit under the building code and therefore do not require provision for septic systems. Trailers on vacant lands are also not at an assessed value. Using a trailer without an assessment does not allow the same level of taxation. The trailer is also not built to be occupied all 4 seasons. Trailers are not to be permitted to be a full-time residence. When trailers are not under the jurisdiction of the building code, it is not able to have an occupancy permit to ensure the health and safety of the user. A trailer was never meant to be a primary residence. It was meant to be a travel trailer for temporary use. Owning 2 properties and not being permitted to place one on vacant land that you own for a summer can be very frustrating. However, it was never permitted to be there. How can the municipality create a bylaw to accommodate these asks? This bylaw would have the same objectives, maintaining our character of our neighborhoods, health and safety and environmental compliances, and ensuring responsible ownership. How would the township form a bylaw to ensure that the character of a neighborhood would remain the same? Should trailers be permitted in certain zones of the municipality? Should more than one trailer be permitted? Should we continue to allow trailers with an active building permit? Should trailers only be in certain zones? For instance, no trailers in the hamlet of Bonfield or waterfront or in the rural. Those are just questions we're here to ask you. Health and safety of the user, as well as protecting the environment, is a main concern. Should the township permit trailers? And how do we ensure that septic is being maintained? How do we ensure that it's also not being as a full-time residence? To ensure responsible ownership, should administrative penalties be included in the bylaw to ensure that the bylaw is one, being followed, and two, being paid for to be regulated by bylaw enforcement? We also would need to include provisions for special occasions, for those times you have your friends all over for the weekend and you don't want them to drive. Because right now that's also against the bylaw. Once again, we have the survey at the back for at the break to be completed to provide feedback on how we can make a bylaw that would help with the consensus of our constituents. Thank you for your help this evening ahead of time. And I know these are two very difficult conversations to have with our residents. And honestly, it's like a half and half split with what people would like to see and what people don't want to see. That's why we're hoping to gather everything you want to say to us so we can make a bylaw for both instances to satisfy most of the people that are visiting us tonight. Thank you very much.